let's start with North Wilkesboro. What did you guys see in this last August when that race was there? How much convincing did it take to say, all right, let's do the All-Star race there? How did that kind of go in y'all's mind?
Not too much convincing, because when we looked at the schedule and where the sport's going, we had Chicago, and we looked at, what the fans had thought about a lot of our iconic venues, including Darlington. And we learned some lessons along the way when we had taken a race away from Darlington. And so the light was on for us of, if we can embrace some of our short tracks, where could we go? When North Wilkesboro became a possibility, 75th anniversary, All-Star, let's go. It just sounded really cool, and you can embrace your past and then have a number of our new fans kind of look at, hey, here's what got us here, and this is what everybody fell in love with the sport for.
Talk about how you listen to fans maybe more than other sports. Like, you don't hear the NBA or Major League Baseball go, hey, what do y'all think? You listen.
Our fans are NASCAR, so they're part of the sport. They drive the sport. So we're going to listen in terms of, we don't always agree, right? But I think it's our job to at least explain why we made a particular decision. And when you see so loudly in terms of North Wilkesboro, you make an announcement, sold out. The fans have spoken, and that's something that's really cool to see, because it's what we believe in too. It's a direction that we thought was important for the sport, certainly for our 75th. But even as you look forward, how do we take those short tracks and that history that we've had and bring some of these new fans and let them learn a little bit? And this perfect opportunity.
How cool is this going to be? The way they've done things and fix things up. They're keeping the old school.
Yeah.
Got the new school, and it's going to be like a museum, like they call it.
It'll be neat. I got the chance to go out there the first time, and when you got Dale Jr. behind it too, right? Nothing can go wrong. So we talked to him earlier. Like, any problems, we're going to blame Dale Jr. But it's a lot of fun seeing him embrace this, and I give him a lot of credit with the lost speedways and talking about this and where the sport came from, and that's really neat. And I think fans are going to be able to see that, and hopefully hear the stories from the drivers and the team members who were there in the past, and talk about kind of how the sport's evolved and where it's going.
How important is it to tie in, the past to the new generation of NASCAR fans?
I think it's really important for fans to understand, maybe who got us there. So when you look at the top 75 drivers that we're going to announce, some fans don't know who those top 50 were, and being able to tell a story at a racetrack that they may have raced at, and now being able to compare a story with Ryan Blaney, who's going to race there, maybe his father, maybe someone else raced there, and connecting those dots, I think, is really important for our fans to learn about the past. But here's the new car, so you got a new car going on North Wilkesboro Speedway. Let's see how it races. Hopefully some beating and banging and tire wear, and it'll be a lot of fun.
The All-Star race historically has been used as sort of a proving grounds for
Yeah.
things you might do later. The double file restarts, the orange cone.
Yep.
Could there be changes in the way the stages are run in the future? Could there be changes in the way you'll allot tires in the future based on how this goes?
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is, that last run of only one set of sticker tires. And that's something to look at, because, all of our drivers and teams talk about tire wear, and they want to see tire fall off. We do as well. And the way our races have played out, you haven't seen as much of that. So, this will be interesting to see how it plays out, something to look at. We'll certainly digest that with the industry, and if it's something we want to try at a future race, let's go.
You made some changes in rules this afternoon or
You
today
did, yeah.
With the appeals process and the way transparency
Yeah.
is needed to be felt. Where did sort of that originate this week? I know, but for our viewers, talk about how you then came to the decision to change the way it's done, make it a little more transparent, why it's important.
Yeah, I think it goes back. It's important for our fans to understand that when we launched this new car, the only way we felt like it was really going to work was a complete culture change in terms of how we went about racing. And part of that was we don't want to be issuing penalties, but we were very clear that if we saw something with an altered part, we were going to issue a penalty, and that was going to include points, because we knew points were what really mattered. And so for us, seeing points thrown out of an appeal really took away the sting of that. Nothing we can do about it. It was a decision made, but we recognize that we've got to make some tweaks. We've got to be more transparent and make sure that points stand. If someone's found guilty, that there is a points penalty that's associated with it.
Do y'all get frustrated at what teams do to try to circumvent some of these rules, or do you just know it's part of the game?
I think the only time we get frustrated is we want to be talking about racing. We thought we had a great race at Richmond. I was really proud of the way the drivers went out there and competed, and we're talking about appeals, right? So for us, it's getting back to racing. We got the smartest engineers in all of sports and all of racing. Understand that what they're paid to do sometimes, but we want to focus back on what's happening on track.
You think the idea of showing off these parts and pieces again to the other teams and sort of more publicly will really kind of stamp down on some of that silliness?
Well, hopefully we won't ever have to do that, but it's going to be part of the process going forward to just be as transparent as possible. We have nothing to hide. If we lose an appeal, we lose an appeal, but we're going to continue to be consistent in terms of if we feel like something's altered, we're going to issue a penalty, and we'll show everybody here's why.